As you would have seen at the start, there is a mild epilepsy/photosensitivity warning regarding the VHS style effects that are on display. Hopefully as a result of it not being full screen and us toning them down a bit, people should be fine. If you're okay with what's currently on screen, you're probably fine for the rest of the presentation. There are going to be some very minor spoilers regarding the first two acts of the Protomen's concept albums. These are all very brief mentions, but there are fictional deaths, there is a surveillance state, there is mention of a mining accident, there's going to be mentions of depression and my personal experience regarding that, mentions of pandemic, and vague allusions to the current state of the world as it relates to how we interpret this media. And with that, I think we're good to go. The Protomen are an indie prog rock band with a story to tell us. A story that can only be described as a rock opera adaptation of someone's dystopian AU Mega Man fanfiction. And I mean that in the best way possible. Regarding the group's origins, lead vocalist Panther said this in a 2009 interview. At the time, we noticed a void in rock and roll. A hole that could only really be filled with grown men and women painting up like robots and playing fierce and furious rock music based on a 1980s video game. We were fairly certain no one else was going to fill that hole, but by God, it's filled now. You can thank us later. Some trick of fate in 2005 saw the release of Act 1, Hope Rides Alone, the concept album, raw, emotional, with all the crackle and static and lo-fi decay of a broken world. One where the villain has already won. It seemed there were no heroes left in man. Crashing cacophony of pain and anger, vengeance and resolve, where acoustic guitar gives way to synth arpeggios, wailing riffs and mournful vocals. Where our saviour sets off to avenge his brother's death and to save mankind. But little does he realise, he cannot do both. 2009 brought forth Act 2, The Father of Death, and a much cleaner sound. A tale of how the world had fallen into darkness, how our father died, toiling in the mines, how his son swore to make a better world. A world where no one would work paycheck to paycheck into their grave. A world of safety and leisure. A world served by machines. A world stolen from us by the man who turns the wheels. Where the villain's song is jazz, swing, upbeat and catchy. The album's second half flows seamlessly from one track to the next as train tracks give way to piano, choirs, orchestras, heart-pounding drums and blood-boiling rock. Since then we've had a few previews of some killer tracks from the upcoming Act 3. We've had cover albums, a tribute to Queen, a Kickstarter documentary, a collaboration on remaking Terminator 2 in the style of Shakespeare, and so much more. Protomen are one of the only bands I have physical CDs for. They're partially responsible for me branching outside of video game music, of giving away Miz a chance when I'd previously sworn off musicals and... Look, the real reason I'm reviewing this niche band is not because of the hot guitar solos, the powerful vocals, the simple but hard-hitting story, the dramatic synths, operatic choirs, or atmospheric instrumental tracks. It's not even about the memorable, meaningful lyrics that I've had to cut out of this presentation because I physically cannot stop myself from quoting the rest of the song if I start. If I say the Protomen saved my life, it feels like a melodramatic exaggeration. I hate the "your music saved me" cliché, but there's some truth to it all the same. The message I've taken from the climax of Act 1 in particular has changed several times as I've gone older. At first the words of the antagonist resonated with me, reinforced my sense of smug superiority to the ignorant masses. I was better than them, I thought. I would stand and fight where they would not. I was wrong. I am not immune to the bystander effect, and chances are neither are you. The resonance turned into a challenge. Be better. Don't just think you do the right thing, actually go out and do it. But why bother? Reality is much like the tragedy told across these albums. For all the moments of hope, pessimism seems to win out. The heroes fail, no good deed goes unpunished, and most freedom fighters die forgotten. Act 2's climax still causes resolve to surge through me to this very day. Preview of Act 3 hints at a better ending. Maybe, just maybe, there's still hope for our world too. Depression sucks. I've been struggling for years now. I don't know when it ends, if it ever ends. But I do know this. I'm still here. How do I accurately review a group whose complete works I've listened to at least twice a week for the last several months? What star rating do I give? Helped fight depression, overturned my worldview, and has kept me sane working in a pandemic. Comrades of the Conclave, there is a shadow hanging over our world. A shadow so complete that we sometimes struggle to see what light is still left. More than that, it can become easy to forget there was ever any light, any good, to begin with. Yet, we do not need a hero to hold back the night. All it takes is a single spark to light a flame.